Hello and welcome to Tech Deals. Will it play? Doom, the 2016 reboot of the epic series that started it all back in 1993. Well, not really, Wolfenstein 3D came before it, but let's be honest, Doom was the one that really broke through and reached a major audience. In any case, I have two different runs for you here, back to back, same area of the game. First one in Vulkan mode, and the second one will be in OpenGL. We are playing today on the Ryzen 3 2200G using the included Wraith Stealth cooler, 16 gigs of RAM, not that it matters or needed here, but it is, and the VEGA 8 iGPU with 2 gigabytes of VRAM set in the BIOS. 1080p, low detail. You want 60 frames per second? No worries, you can lower the detail to 720, or the resolution rather, to 720p if you want it. But still, it's never going to run at hundreds of frames per second because we are on a $99 basic APU that doesn't even have a dedicated graphics card. However, let me tell you, this thing is smooth. The movement here, the character, the mouse. In a game like this, smoothness is prized above all else. With the enemies jumping in and running around, with the beast climbing and blast coming at you and all the frantic action that's going on, you need a smooth game. This is not 60 frames per second. But this is butter smooth. My mouse input had no lag at all. The keyboard for moving had no lag at all. The only challenges or trouble that I have is the fact that I'm not particularly good at these kind of shooters. I'm much better at strategy games like XCOM 2 and World of Warships, whatnot. But for whatever it's worth, at least at this beginning intro level, the controllability is spectacular. At least in Vulkan mode. We'll get to OpenGL in just a second. Take a look at the real-time performance numbers in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Now, normally this is where I'd tell you that the graphics card's not being fully utilized and we are CPU limited. The only problem with that argument is that I've seen this game played when it has a better graphics card, and it runs a whole lot faster than this. So basically, we're limited by the fact that we have a $99 combo graphics card and CPU all rolled into one. Want faster performance? Get a better machine. But for the value that you can install this $99 chip in a $50 motherboard and have more performance than was possible last week. I'm actually recording this voiceover just a couple of days after the launch. It's actually the 15th of February as I'm recording this. And that kind of leads us into the OpenGL part because these are the early days for the Ryzen APUs. This will get better. They will improve the drivers and improve the overall support. As it stands now, I played around with it, I checked the settings, we're running on a completely clean copy of Windows, and what you're about to see in OpenGL, this is, I kid you not, what it really runs like. We are on the same mission in the same area, and I'm going to do the exact same thing that you just saw a minute ago. I played this for 5 minutes and 36 seconds like this, and it was painful. The irony is it's controllable once you learn how to respond to the delay between when you move your character or when you move the mouse and when what happens on the screen. There is a noticeable delay, but it's consistent. That frame rate is not wrong. This is ridiculous. Yes, I double and triple checked and rebooted and made sure the drivers were good. In fact, I did this a whole day before and came back the next day after playing around and tried it again. This is just broken. This is absolutely broken, the OpenGL mode. Look at our graphics usage. We're only at 40%. Why? It's the early days. These things just launched, and frankly, there's some teething issues, and this is one of them. I had some problems in some other games, XCOM 2 and Star Wars The Old Republic, the online MMO. Those I got worked out, and the benchmarks you'll see on those are after the fixes, and I'm going to talk in those benchmarks. Anytime I have to do something out of the ordinary to get something run, I will always tell you about it. In this case, yeah, it's just as bad. So, is there anything that can be done at the moment? No, not that I know of. 2 months from now, in April, when the 400 series boards come out and the rest of the 2000 generation series, the second gen so-called of the Ryzen CPUs comes out, I imagine that this will be improved at that point. However, at the moment, Doom and OpenGL is completely useless, and yeah, I guess one thing is if you want to play the whole game in slow-mo where the enemies are very slow to react and basically you're essentially getting superhuman reactions, I guess you could. I played this for 5 minutes and 36 seconds, and the reason is I didn't want to play it for 5 minutes and 37 seconds. This gets pretty brutal pretty fast. This stops being fun very quickly. So, play it in Vulkan mode, and I'm showing you both specifically to show you that it is playable today, but not in OpenGL. This is actually, I believe, the only game so far that I've tested in OpenGL, and I need to go grab a couple of others and play around with it and see if it's just Doom or if all OpenGL games are this pro. I hope not. I can't imagine that AMD would launch a major processor like the Ryzen 3 2200G and the Ryzen 5 2400G with the OpenGL drivers this completely bad. Maybe it's the drivers, maybe who knows what it is. But this is the result I got after a bunch of tinkering. Take it for what it's worth. If it improves in the future, I may very well come back and do a new one of these and properly test it and benchmark it and give you charts. Spoiler alert, there's no chart in this video. Vulkan is not benchmarkable with standard benchmarking tools. Fraps won't benchmark Vulkan, and there's no point in benchmarking this because it's utterly ridiculous. So you basically sort of have to take a look at the real-time performance and make up your own mind. Just take my word for it that the smoothness, character responsiveness, and mouse viewing control in Vulkan mode was butter smooth. Couldn't have been better, no issues. The frame rate wasn't 60 frames per second, but you could play that game all day long on this in Vulkan mode without an issue. OpenGL's just messed up. So, simple solution, put it in Vulkan mode and game on. Like this video if you like it, share it with your friends if you loved it. Remember to subscribe to my channel with that big huge red button directly below. Post your comments below the video. Look at the video description, please. There's a link to all of my Will It Play videos down there. There's a link to the APUs from AMD down there to Amazon and Newegg. Those are affiliate links. They do support the channel. Use those when buying all your stuff. It'd be greatly appreciative. And links down there to Kingwin to get a discounted copy of Doom if you don't yet already have one. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video.